Hello and welcome to From the Desk Of. My name is Tim Moody. I am the Public Information Officer with the Randolph County School System. We're here for our monthly interview with our Superintendent, Dr. Stephen Gainey. And if you watch our interviews each month, you know that we venture out to a different school. And this month we are at Southeastern Randolph Middle School, a fine school. Dr. Gainey, just give you a chance to open up by talking a little bit about the school.
Well, Tim, this is a great school. It's a beautiful facility. Gail Powers, the principal, has just finished her second year here. I'm really proud of Gail and what she's done, and proud of the staff. And you know, when you come into the school during the school day, you see students engaged in learning. I see a very orderly school, and just can't say enough about what's going on here. As you know, with all our schools, we're working hard to keep moving forward as we move into the future, and this school is definitely doing that. Staff is working very hard with the kids, and just want to say a big thank you to Gail and for her efforts to lead this school. And you know, like I say, it's just a beautiful facility and great kids, great staff, and so just look forward to great things as we move to the future.
Well, today's interview has a little bit of a different feel to it because it's officially summertime. And there is no school going on right now, and it seems a little different to come into a school and there's not students everywhere. But I want to talk a little bit about, while we're on the subject of this fine school, to talk about Southeastern Randolph Middle School Summer Camp. The dates for that camp are June the 25th and the 28th. They also have it July the 9th through the 12th. So Dr. Gainey, this is something I know was introduced last summer. Talk a little bit about this summer camp.
Well, this summer camp, Tim, is designed to kind of reach out to students prior to the school year, and particularly the rising sixth graders, to help them come and transition here to this campus and become accustomed to what's going on the campus, get comfortable. And it has some great activities. Focus on health sciences, STEM activities, agriculture activities. There'll be field trips during the week. Staff will be here, so the kids will get to meet staff that they'll later interact with in their upcoming grades. And again, it's focused a lot on rising sixth graders, but rising seventh and rising eighth graders are eligible to come as well. Health sciences and business technology activities are involved. So I'm just real excited about this camp. It's year two. There'll be 2 different weeks, as I think you mentioned, but just anything you can do when children are coming to a new school, particularly those rising sixth graders, or even children who are already here, help them continue their adjustment to a campus. That just leads to very positive results down the road. So excited to get the kids on campus. Gail and her staff have done a great job. They did a great job last year, did a really great job this spring, with the recruiting, and we've had sponsors in the community who've provided resources to make this camp work. And so just very excited to see year 2, because year 1 was very successful, and my understanding is the numbers compared for this coming summer compared to last summer have grown somewhat. So very excited to see how this summer plays out. And again, it just is another thing that's going on at Southeast Randolph Middle School that's only going to help the school as we go to the future and continue to get better.
So as I mentioned a moment ago, this is our first interview since school ended. And I guess the big event that on the calendar in the recent past was graduation, high school graduation, back on June the 8th. And I know you had a chance to attend one of the ceremonies. So tell us a little bit about that day.
Tim, I did get to go to Southwestern Randolph High School's graduation this year, and it was the last graduation that I'd yet to see in my 5 years here, and I was very excited to get to experience that with the staff and with the students in the community. It was a great event. I want to say a big thank you to Sean Hildreth, the principal, and the staff at the school. It was a very well-run event. The kids did a great job. The student speakers were just unbelievable. Graduation, I've always liked graduation and always like to see the kids realize what they've accomplished, and I love to hear the student speakers speaking to their classmates, and so it's just a great event for me, and I know it's a great event for the graduates, but I've always enjoyed high school graduation, and I just want to say a big thank you to the Southwestern Randolph High School staff for all their extra efforts to make that special for the children and make it special for the community, particularly the parents of the children who graduated. So looking forward to seeing what happens with those graduates as well as the graduates of our other 6 high schools, because talking to the other leadership team members, we all kind of divide up and cover all the graduations, and board members go to graduations. They divide up and go to different ones. And everything I got back from that night was that the ceremonies all over the county were great. And back earlier in May, on May 17, we had the early college graduation, and that was a wonderful event. So just, you know, in addition to the comments about the staff of Southwestern Randolph High, I really want to say thank you to all the high school staffs and all the high school principals, because those events take a lot of planning, a lot of effort, and I just appreciate the effort people go to make it a special night for the kids.
Okay, again, we are here at Southeastern Randolph Middle School. We have moved from the media center in here to the cafeteria. So Dr. Gainey, this past Monday night, June 18th, the county commissioners had a meeting in which they adopted the county budget for 2018-19. And I know in that budget there's some good news for our school system, so I want to give you a chance to talk about that.
Yes, Tim. Monday night we did receive final word on our budget from the county commissioners, and very excited. We received an additional $400,000 in current expense funding, and very appreciative of the county commissioners' work, their work with our Board of Education. Both groups of individuals work very well together, and that's exciting for me. I enjoy working with both of those groups, our board and the commissioners. But very important, another important fact about that $400,000 is, if you look over the past 5 years, our current expense funding has been increased by the county commissioners more than $2 million over the last 5 years. And just want to say a big thank you to them, because they have a very difficult job. They have a lot of different groups that they are providing funding for. And I've left every one of the budget sessions. This is the 5th budget I've presented. I've been here 5 years, so the first one I presented was in the spring of 2014. And what I have seen our county commissioners do is, I believe in my heart, what I've seen and watched their work, they do everything they can for us. And I appreciate that. There are limits to what they can do. I understand that and I respect that. The flip side of that is, I've watched them struggle with budgets now, and they've done everything they can each year for us, and so for that I say a big thank you, because it's tremendous. We not only get the $400,000, we received another little bit of money, $200,000, a little bit more than $200,000 in fines and forfeitures. So that's just great teamwork, I believe, with the Board of Education County Commissioners. And I will say this: back in the fall, I spoke at a Chamber of Commerce event, and when I was speaking, I was talking about different things about our school system. And with great confidence, I did say to the group that our county commissioners are friends of our school system, and I truly believe that. They continue to do everything they can for us, and for that I just say a big thank you. And I really like working with them, and like I say, I respect the struggles they go through with the budget every year, but I do, what I really appreciate is what they do every year for kids. They do everything they possibly can to help us with kids as far as budgets, and obviously that helps staff as well.
It's something we've talked about in previous interviews, and our community members may not know about this, is our 9-year facility plan. Speaking of funding from the county commissioners, we couldn't do the plan without them. So why don't you update us on that plan?
Well, Tim, there's another very exciting thing that has been going on now. We just finished our 4th year of the plan. And that started on January 14, 2014, with a joint meeting with the commissioners and our board. We talked about our budget needs for the 14-15 school year, and that night, Marty Trotter, Assistant Superintendent for Operations, presented that 9-year plan to the county commissioners, and that just kicked it off. That first spring of 14, they increased our capital outlay funding by $250,000 a year. And you know, and that gave us with some money we already had, it gave us a chance to get moving. The next spring, the spring of 2015, they gave us $500,000 more to completely fund that plan. So in 2 short years, they increased our capital outlay funding, our annual funding, by $750,000. What that's allowed us to do is address some roof projects. It's allowed us to address some windows, a lot of different. We've done some kitchens, and like the instructional kitchens for CTE. But now there's some other things that are beginning to appear. A couple years ago, we replaced the visitors' bleachers in the Eastern Randolph High School football stadium. And right now, there's a very exciting project going on. It's probably the biggest one we've seen yet. And the entire stadium at Southwestern Randolph High School has been taken out, and the bleachers have been torn down. And so we're replacing both sides of the stadium and the press box. It's going to be beautiful when it's done, but I think the thing we've got to remember is that relationship between our Board of Education and county commissioners has been a major factor in that 9-year plan. And I can't go a day without saying thank you or wishing I could call them and just say thank you for the things that are happening all around our school system because of that 9-year plan. Another thing that's going to happen in this particular year of the plan is we're replacing the lights at Eastern Randolph High School and the baseball stadium. So just a lot of things. Sometimes people don't see the roof work, but it has to be done. They may see the window work when we replace windows or doors, but when you start talking about stadiums and replacing bleachers in stadiums and baseball lights, and those things are very notable things, and just, none of this could be done if it wasn't for their help, and they're getting behind our plan. So just a big thank you to them, and can't wait to see the Southwestern Randolph High School Stadium open in the fall. I know there's a lot of people excited in that part of the county. And then we have a couple years out, we have another set of bleachers at Trinity High School the bleachers on the visitor side will be replaced. So just excited to see some of those things happen, as well as the things we have to do with the roofs and everything else to maintain. We have great facilities. The county commissioners have a long-standing history in this county of providing wonderful facilities for our school system, and so that plan is only helping us maintain those wonderful, beautiful facilities. Some are newer than others, but all 31 of them are beautiful to me.
So as we continue to make our way through Southeastern Randolph Middle School, Dr. Gainey, it's not uncommon this time of year as we transition from one school year into another to have some personnel changes, and we've got some, and one of note is a new principal at one of our elementary schools. So tell us about that.
Tim, we do have a new principal at Hopewell Elementary School. His name is Aaron Barr. He's replacing Sharon Harper, who is retiring at the end of this month. Sharon actually served as principal of Hopewell Elementary School on 2 different occasions. She was the original principal at the school, and then she left for a window of time, and then she came back to Hopewell my first year here as superintendent, and she's done a great job. So Aaron is getting a great school. It's a very high-performing school, and very excited to have Aaron. He's been a elementary assistant principal for 5 years, and then most recently he was a principal at Briar Creek Elementary School and Davidson County Schools for 5 years. So he comes with a lot of elementary school background and experience, and so I think it's going to be a very good fit for him and for the school, and just looking forward to seeing what Aaron does as we move the school forward. Probably the most important thing about all of this is that Aaron wanted to be here. He wanted Hopewell Elementary School, and that's what you always want. When you're out looking for principals, you want people who want the school that you have open, and Aaron wanted Hopewell Elementary School, so can't wait to get him on board and just watch him as we move to the future with him leading one of the best schools in the state. Hopewell Elementary School is undoubtedly one of the best elementary schools in the state.
Okay, so Dr. Gainey, it's always exciting to talk about awards, and we've got a couple of exciting announcements from this past week. Some award winners in our school district. At Southwestern Randolph High School, teachers Jamie Kent and Megan Shambly, they have been awarded Sponsor of the Year, the National Senior Beta Sponsor of the Year at the National Beta Convention in Savannah, Georgia. That's quite an award.
Well, Tim, when I hear that, and I know we're talking about Beta Club, and when teachers are recognized, it's usually in relation to a specific activity they're involved in with children. But when I hear that and I saw that come across, I thought, this is just another one of those indicators of the great things teachers in schools do with children. I mean, this is, teachers, they spend all day teaching, and then you talk about Beta Club activities and events that occur after hours. And there they are, leading kids, and this is just a well-deserved honor for both of them. Very excited for them, very excited for the recognition of Southwestern Randolph High School, and just excited about obviously with the recognition of these two adults as leaders of students, there has to be a great performance by the children. So this is just a great recognition for the school as a whole, but just want to say thank you to both staff members for their work, because you teach all day and then you do great things after hours with kids, whether it be activity sponsors, coaching, band, course, whatever. Those activities are very valuable to our schools, and I just hope we're not overlooking those as a society, because our kids want those activities, and so I just say thank you to both of these fine staff members and all the other staff members who do take care of activities, extracurricular activities beyond the school day, because this is a real indicator of the comprehensive nature of the total school program on the high school campus, middle school campus, even on the elementary school campus.
And another recognition from this week is someone that we've talked about before in our interviews, because she's always seems like she's doing an outstanding job in some regard, is our CTE director, Nancy Cross. The Randolph County Economic Development Corporation has an annual award called the Partner in Progress Award, and just yesterday they named our Nancy Cross as the award winner. So I know that excites you.
Well, and I was at that event, and as they started describing the person who was going to be recognized, after about 3 or 4 statements that were made at the podium, I was pretty confident it was Nancy, and Nancy is a very talented individual. And you know, as talented as she is, you know, that you can see that anytime you're around her and you listen to her talk about schools or what. But even more importantly, she is a very, very good person, and just a great person. And you need good people like Nancy Cross leading initiatives in school systems. And so, very proud of her. Very proud of her work with Apprenticeship Randolph. A lot of things were talked about yesterday when they were introducing, you know, talking about who was going to receive the award before they called Nancy's name. They were talking about the value of Apprenticeship Randolph, for that program that has been in place now. We're starting our 2nd year, and we're the 2nd cohort of students. And, you know, I think it was rightfully so, it was said that that program probably wouldn't have started and wouldn't be where it is right now had Nancy not been carrying out a dream she had with some business leaders. And so you need individuals on your staff like that will run with dreams and are looking for making things better for kids all the time. And that's Nancy. She wants things to be better for kids every day, one day to the next, getting better. And so just very proud of her, and can't thank her enough for what she does to represent our school system, and just appreciate that the group chose to recognize her for her great work. And what another interesting piece about that award is this is the 2nd year in a row that award has been connected to the Randolph County school system. Last year, this time, there were 3 winners of that award. It was Asheboro City Schools, the Randolph County School System, and Randolph Community College. And we were recognized and given the award because of our work with the Pathways to Prosperity plans we put together. And of course, there again, Nancy was involved in that. Right. So just excited to see that. That's a tremendous honor, and to have it connected to our school system 2 consecutive years just thrills me, and I just appreciate the community continuing to work to recognize our staff members.
So as we talked about, school is out, it's summertime, but that certainly does not mean there's not a lot going on. And so Dr. Gainey, what we'll do to close out this interview, I'll just open it up to you, and you just share what's taking place in our school system in the summer as we prepare for another school year.
Well, Tim, this month is a very busy month, particularly for our Board of Education. We have 3 board meetings in June. We've already had 2. Today's June 20th. We have one on June 4 and June 18. Very appreciative of our board. They work hard throughout the year, and then these extra meetings really help us in June, because it allows us to address a lot of personnel issues as far as filling vacancies, you know, whether it be school level or central service level. Particularly, we've already filled 1 principal vacancy. We have 1 more. So right now, unless we have other developments, so right now we've only had 2 for next year, and the other one the one we have to fill now is Providence Grove High School. But we're also working to close out budgets for the 17-18 fiscal year, and so as that's come to a close here in a couple of days, and then we're looking at budgets as state budgets are finalized, or the state budget's finalized. And we mentioned earlier the county commissioners have approved their budgets. Now we know where we are with our local money. So just planning where we go for the 18-19 school year. Obviously, some of that planning had already started months before, because I've always said that when we kind of get to January of a year, you're beginning to look at closing down that year and looking at the next year. So you kind of run in 2 school years in the spring anyways, as far as closing one down and planning for the other. But just a lot of things going on at school level too. Principals are working on scheduling their classes, and obviously the activities at the high school level are they're not far off. August comes quicker than people realize for the fall sports. And so we do have a principal meeting in the middle of July. Our principals came to us. We did not do that the summer of 2014. By the end of the summer of 2015, they are, well, I guess it was actually in the fall of 14, they said we really want one in July so we can kind of get out on some of the information instead of waiting until August, the first August meeting, to share some start of school stuff. So that's very exciting. Our principals, we'll see them, I think it's July the 18th. We'll see them on, and they'll have had some time to have some vacation, get away from things, work in their schools. And so then when we get to the middle of July, we're turning quickly towards the start of the 18-19 school year. But you know, a lot of, you know, the big difference in the summer is the students aren't in school, and so that's one thing that the staff is, and a lot of staff members are out in the summer, obviously, but the administration are at the schools, and so kind of a different pace and different types of things that are being worked on, but always geared towards starting that next school year. We do have summer reading camp going on in some of our elementary schools. We have some intervention programs going on right now in some of our middle schools and high schools. But other than that, we're really this time of year is really a lot of work by adults as the children are out on summer breaks. So just looking forward to the rest of the summer and getting ready for the 18-19 school year.
So Dr. Gainey, thank you. It's been a good summer so far, but as you say, the new school year will be here before you know it. We want to say thank you again to Principal Gail Powers and her staff here at Southeastern Randolph Middle School for allowing us to be here today. Thank you to Randolph Communications, and thank you to you in the community for allowing us to share the great things that are going on in our schools and with our students and with our teachers. We look forward to seeing you again in July.